just starting us off here, Alicia, for folks not familiar with you, could you maybe share a little bit about your background and how you became the Alicia Collins that we know and love in EXP Realty?
Okay, so I started real estate about a little over 20 years ago. And I started with the broker, and she wanted like the 26-year-old crowd. I was like, okay. So anyway, within about 7 years, I outsold her and she had to make me her partner. And that's when we started a team. And then she retired in 2017. And I was introduced to Krista Mayshore on Facebook, right? And she's become a great friend of mine. But what happened is I'd never been coached before. And I was selling about 100 homes a year. And it just myself, not, or I guess at that point it was my team. So then that video piece just like blew up my business. So I was doing Facebook, kind of before anybody else was, 7 years ago. And now my team is, we just actually hired, I think we just brought on 4 more agents. So we're about 17 or 18. I've lost count. Okay. But we've been with EXP for almost 2.5 years. And like, we totally know we found our home. We love it. So I have a little house that's an office that everybody comes to. And, I teach other people how to do video in my office. I help Krista. And then I run a couple other things that, really like motivate and teach people how to do video.
Okay. And I was going to ask you, so you mentioned repurposing earlier, but it sounds like you're creating different video for different platforms.
No, it goes everywhere. So,
okay.
I still get the most clients from YouTube and Facebook. I get them from TikTok, but TikTok is like my preferred place to record them because I can record in the app. I have an extra phone. I hand it to my, gal up front, she edits them for me, and then I take over. So I have a lot, like right now I probably have like 25 or 30 in my drafts ready to go. So then on the weekends, all I have to do is hit post most of the time, unless I'm busy. But so then somebody else puts them on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my Facebook, my personal profile and my business profile. You have to be careful with that because they don't like you to do business on your personal, but I have like a creator account.
Okay.
If you don't have one, Google it because I don't remember. It tells you how to do it. Anyway, so she does that and she doesn't work on the weekends. So it's always lagging. But then I use repurpose.io to put it on all the other things, and I do care about them, but I say that I don't care about. So like Snapchat, X, I haven't done Pinterest yet, Blue Sky. I feel like, LinkedIn. So 4 or 5 more places, it just goes automatically. And repurpose.io, you just have to set up the workflows and you got to check it to make sure it's linked up every once in a while. And it's like $345 a year. And so if you don't have someone who's working for you, you can also have it hook to your YouTube Shorts and Facebook and Instagram. And you actually can put it on your business story page. You can't put it on your personal. So the other thing that repurpose.io does is it takes your TikTok, takes the logo off and drops it into the Google Drive as long as you have it set up.
Okay. And you said you've got somebody else who's taking the raw material and cutting it for Facebook or the other platforms. Are they? It's the same content, but just cut differently. Is that essentially?
It's not cut differently. The only one that's cut differently is YouTube, and it's because it used to be a minute that you could have a short. Now it's 3 minutes. And what we found is that if I talked more than a minute on YouTube, nobody watches it. Except on the long form. They watch the long form, but on short form, they want 1 minute from Alicia. So she cuts it down, and I don't even look at it. Like my lady cuts it. I'm normally very micromanaging, but I'm not. I've tried to get away from that, and that is one thing I do not care about. I'm like, just post it and let's go. So I didn't do shorts on YouTube until I started doing Facebook, until I started doing TikTok, because I didn't really see the point. And so what happened is when I started putting the TikToks on shorts on YouTube, I started getting sellers from YouTube too, not just buyers moving here.
Yeah, and so with your YouTube strategy makes sense, and I would bet that you got a lot of out of town buyers for a video like pros and cons and moving to Casper, Wyoming. That's going to be your target market. When you think about your target market on TikTok, a lot of agents would just dismiss it offhand and say, well, I don't want to try to, help first time buyer 20 somethings get their credit cleaned up or blah, blah, blah. Right. There's going to
I
be the
do.
misperception that it's, that
Sign me
it's
up.
only going to be this certain audience. First off, who is your audience in particular on TikTok?
It's probably somebody who loves real estate, who may or may not live where I live. And one of the things about TikTok that I love is that so I can get referrals, right, from agents, because a lot of agents watch me. I'm creating a list from people can download stuff. I have all sorts of freebies on my Stan store in there, and it's in every profile that I have. But one of the things and it's not a lot of money, but to me, it's worth it. It's like an extra. So on TikTok, I have I just hit 89,000 followers, and I make about $1,600 a month. Now, before TikTok went dark, I made more. But, it's an added bonus, and it keeps me going, and it's fun money. So it's just one more thing. And I also had a brand deal with apartments.com not very long ago. I'd like some more brand deals. I mean, there's so many things that real estate agents don't realize we can do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you can make money off of YouTube, just a little bit. I mean, if you make your mortgage payment, sign you up. I'm not saying only do that. I mean, you're doing it for clients, and you're doing it and I get a lot of referrals too. So somebody will say, hey, will you find me an agent in wherever? So that's the other piece of that, because it's so organic and national.
Okay. And you said you get a lot of business from other agents. Are you speaking to agents, or are you speaking to consumers and they're just finding your videos and going, oh, she seems like she's talented, and if I don't have anybody in Casper but need somebody, she seems like the person I would want to send them to?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I started talking to agents because of agent attraction. I want to do that, but all right, I am doing it. And so I've started talking a little bit to agents, but most of the time it's because, hey, I heard you sound knowledgeable. I think you would be a great fit for my client. And if they look me up on Google, and then they look me up on Facebook, they see all these videos. And I think it also gives you, just like your clients, it gives you social proof. It's all about perception.
Okay. And posting that many videos a day, what's the content? Is it different on a given day of the week? Do you do motivation Mondays or blah blah blah? What are you posting?
So when I started, I had a hard time with what am I going to do? So I started writing in my everything I write every morning. I think of viral video ideas everywhere I look. And so all the time I'm like, oh my gosh, that's one I need to do. I talk about things that have happened in my business. I talk about, I take a side a lot. So for example, I say, and a lot of agents are going to be like, what are you doing? But I'll show somebody 2 houses before I get them to do a pre-qual letter. So that is edgy, because I want to get them pre-qualified with my person. So when I post that on TikTok, it goes bananas because it's polarizing. Or should you use your real estate agent's home inspector? Like things like that are like super polarizing, and everybody has an opinion. They even have an opinion about paint. Like if I talk about Behr paint at Home Depot, they get mad. And that's what you want. That's the virality. You have to get a thick skin. But one of the things, it's a progression. So I think this is a good time to say this. So when you start, nobody's watching you. Okay. And then you start to get likes, which are hearts. Then you start to get comments, but an agent the other day said, well, Alicia, I get no comments. I said, well, what do you ask at the end of your videos? And she says, nothing. Well, you have to ask for somebody to say something. So I ask a question at the end of every single video. It is not yes, no. It's like, last time you bought a house, what home inspections did you do? Or last time you bought a house, did you do a walkthrough? And if you didn't, what did you find when you got there? So I started getting comments. So then I started replying to the comments. So that's almost all of my content comes from replying to comments now. And I think it's the fastest way to grow your brand and your page, because you're doing something that TikTok wants you to do.
And when you say that, you're saying that as you're replying to people's comments, you're kind of figuring out, oh, this is going to be my next post.
No, I reply to it. I should have said this. I always don't say it. You reply with a video. So if you look,
you do the little pointing at the caption and say, this was a great question, Linda. Let me tell you the answer.
Yep. I usually try to get, so you have to have a really good hook. So I usually I might say, I agree with this, or I absolutely do not agree with this. And then I read a little bit of it and then go into it. And then I ask another question at the end of that. Now, the other thing that a lot of people don't know you can do on TikTok is you can answer other people's questions. So people can, or comments. So somebody can go to my video that I have 60 comments on, or 3, whatever, it depends on the video. And they can reply with a video to my comment. Now, what this does is it makes the viewer of them look like they're getting comments. And if they ask a question, they start getting comments. And we've tested it. Like I do a script school every Monday, and there's a few people. We said, okay, everybody, let's figure this out for a week. Let's comment once a day to a comment. That's what I told them. Video, reply to a comment, and it just goes gangbusters. And then they have their own video, their own comments. It's so cool, but that's where most of my content comes from, because I don't even have to plan it then, because I'm going through my comments and I save it, and the next time I record like four replies to comments, and it's easy.
I'm curious. There's the marketing approach, and then there's the prospecting approach. And the marketing approach, posting a message out there and letting the world respond to it. There's also the prospecting approach, and I've been talking to a number of social media agents who told me, all of them, that they, in their own words, they view social media as an extension of their CRM. And so they're using it like you might normally in a CRM campaign have emails, phone calls, text, social media outreach as well, whether it be DMing or liking other people's posts or things of that nature. Are you doing something similar on TikTok? Are you going and finding your past clients or your sphere of influence and purposefully engaging them in some fashion or another via that platform?
So right now we had to switch. We switched CRMs, I don't know, about a year ago, because we had to, because FirePoint went out of business. And so we started with Lofty, and we don't have it all set up, but we did have everything set up before. So right now we're working on eventually getting back to like a newsletter and some other things that could go automatically. So we're working on that. But there's so many things I'm doing that it's hard sometimes to get us all organized, but I think that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, you might have to do the link. I'm not really sure. I think a lot of these software companies are trying to figure out how to get the vertical video embedded. I'm not sure it does that. I need to get with it though. One more thing.
So I'm kind of at the limit of the things that I would normally ask, but I feel there's probably a ton more that you could share. What are some more important things that I didn't ask about that you think agents just really need to understand about TikTok as they go to use the platform for professional purposes?
Well, like you said, consistency is key. And somebody asked me the other day, Alicia, I don't understand your momentum. I don't have it. And I said, okay, well, are you posting one a day? The answer was no. Another person asked, yeah, I do it every once in a while. That's not good enough. You have to be there when the person needs your service, and they have to be like comfortable enough with you that they call you. And it's just, so you have to be there. That's why consistency is so important. And I have momentum because I never stop, even if I have a bad day, even if I, somebody gives me a 1-star review from a fake profile, or, somebody sends me a nasty text message about something they don't like in a video somebody I know. Like, you have to get over that really fast, and you can't let it stop you. And that's the difference. But that's also why sometimes I have drafts. I mean, it's not like I'm never in the dumps. I mean, I am, but I have a draft and I post it no matter what. And I don't know if this is a place or not for this, but people are going to say horrible things about what you're doing. They're not going to like when you do it. They're not going to like, and I'll just share this with you. My husband was sick with cancer and passed away. And video was the only thing that got me through it, because when you make a video, you cannot think about anything else. It was 1 minute of a break of my subconscious. And, even now I use it when I get stressed, because it's somehow it calms me down. And the video might not be good. The video, and I'll still post it because I don't waste anything. Done is better than perfect. But people will say, I remember I posted, posted from the waiting room in the hospital. I posted, but it gave me the power to go then and show up the best way I could for him. And people didn't like it. They also didn't like it when I started posting a week after he passed away. Like, I think that you have to do what is good for you. And you can share the things you want to share. I shared my grief journey. That is something that, like, we all have something that we can put on social media that empowers other people. And so one of the things I always think about that keeps me posting is, what if somebody needed to hear this today? What if, whether it's grief, whether it's real estate, what if they have a bad agent and they pushed to have a walkthrough and the basement was flooded? Like, that actually happened. I posted a video. The agent wouldn't do the walkthrough. She pushed for it anyway, and the basement's flooded. Like, those things happen. So that's one of the things that I do, is I tell myself that. So if you're going through something hard, you still can use this way. And the other thing about video is that I didn't realize till I was in the thick of that, is that video took care of me the whole time that I could take care of my husband. So all the work I did before was sending me clients during the time. So I still had clients. I would come home on the weekend, spend time with our daughter, sign them up. My team would take over. And that's the power of video.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. First off, what an unbelievably hard experience to go through, and having whatever you can have to get you through a time like that. I'm grateful that you found something. You also mentioned something that's just a reality of our current modern world. Anybody who's a parent understands this inherently. Those platforms are full of jerks. They are full of jerks. Not everybody, but there's plenty of them there, right? And they are going to say crappy little things to you. And I won't ask you to say the crappiest things, because I'm sure there's just people who hide behind a keyboard and feel comfortable saying whatever. But there's going to be those folks whose video gets made fun of by some troll on the internet. Any advice of how you deal with that kind of thing?
Well, I'll go there in a second. But what I was talking about is people around you. I was talking about friends and family.
Oh, wow.
And friends and family sometimes want to hold you back. Colleagues want to hold you back. They don't want you to grow and become what you could become, because it shows their inadequacy, right? So I think that somehow you have to get over that. And that was hard on me. But I remember, I was talking about this morning to somebody. I remember my first horrible comment. And it was years ago, and it was on YouTube. And it was in, one of the About Casper videos. And they said, people in this town hate her. It's not true. I mean, some people probably do, but it messed me up for days. Days. I couldn't even record the YouTube I was supposed to record that day. And so when you think, you have to suit up and put on a body of armor. You have to do it visually and like make sure that they don't get to your heart, because I mean, I might seem energetic and like I'd never let anything bug me, but I have a really soft heart. And so those things bother me. I mean, a 1-star review from somebody who doesn't know me, that even bothers me. Like, but I get over it quicker. And most of the time, the crappy, mean things, there's a lot, about realtors and all that stuff. I mean, it's just part of the gig.
Yeah.
And they're not your people anyways.
Very well said. They're not your tribe, and a certain degree, you kind of want to thank them for raising their hand and saying as much, so that
That's what
you
I
now
say.
know.
I mean, if somebody's arguing with me, I'm like, hey, you just helped my algorithm. Thank you so much. Like, I mean, and the other thing is, sometimes I argue back. I mean, it just depends what it is and who it is. I mean, sometimes I block them, and sometimes I argue back because occasionally it's kind of fun.
That's funny. Well, Alicia, thank you so much for sharing with us. We really appreciate it.
Of course, anytime.
All right.